Hello, this is Akshay. This year I cleared the UPSC exam, I think in 2017. Recent results were announced and my name was in the list. I cleared it in the first attempt. So I just want to share my sources and the book list with you, including I'll be discussing the syllabus prescribed by UPSC for the general studies, not for optional. Optional, I think it's not recommendable to discuss here because to discuss an optional syllabus or optional book list, there should be some demand. General studies, it is open for everyone to discuss here, so I'm just doing this. Yeah. I'll be providing you the required sources which I followed. I'm neither forcing you or persuading you to follow only these sources, but it could be helpful for you one or the in some or the other way. Yeah. As you know, the paper one deals about the general essay, which carries 250 marks, and it contains two sections. In one section, four essays will be given, and yeah, we have to choose one from each of those. And for me, when I was writing, the problem was that if they ask me to write one essay and one essay is given, no problem, but they are giving me four essays and ask me to write just one. So it's my matter of choice whether to what to choose and when to choose. So it became very difficult for me because all the four essays I thought that I'm well equipped with, and all four essays I thought I can do good. So choosing one in four for me was much difficult in at that point. So what you should do is that first you do not focus on essay paper at all. Complete your general studies paper as soon as possible and read the current affairs intensely daily so that you'll get a lot of knowledge, and that knowledge you can apply to the essay paper. After 6 to 7 months of your preparation, start writing an essay. Then you just start writing an essay daily. You'll get perfection in it. I am very sure about it. So just forget about the essay paper. Just finish the general studies syllabus as soon as possible with the kind of standard books I prefer here, and the books you might also have and other toppers also might suggest. And we just go to paper 2, which is general studies 1 paper, which contains history and geography majorly. It contains Indian culture, art, architecture, literature, music, etc. And what I followed for this was a book called Nitin Singhania. Nitin Singhania's art and culture book, and he's also an IAS officer, I think. It is a very good book because the main advantage which the book contains is like it is very pictorial. It contains many diagrams, figures, and all, so that we can understand the subject very easily, and we'll get to know what to read, what not to read once you look into the book. Yeah, based on he completely analyzes on what questions are coming from which chapter and all, the weightage and etc. So that you'll get to know more about it, more about what art and culture basically is. He describes each and every point intensely because the kind of architecture, arts, music, cinema, all are there in that. You can follow that. You just give a reading, you'll understand. Yeah. I read the book for 4 to 5 times, I think so. Underline each and every point which I felt important. And I followed another book called Tamil Nadu 11th class book on history, which I recommended for many students because what I felt was it was very concise, very easy, and not too bulge, and syllabus was written in a very lucid way. We can understand each and every point. I used to hate the ancient history part, but after reading this book, I changed my opinion because very beautifully presented and chronologically completely structured it was. Just go through it, you'll love it. Yeah. And for modern Indian history and freedom struggle, I followed Bipin Chandra's India's Struggle for Freedom. A very, very, very good book it was. Because, see, to read modern history, I think only point is that just don't read that just like a history or something else. Because you just be in the position, you just imagine that you are in the freedom struggle, how would you have been reacted? Uh, Bipin Chandra presents us the modern history in a very completely comprehensive manner because he's a scholar. He did not write for UPSC because we are reading it for UPSC, but his intention was not that. Just go through it, Bipin Chandra, you'll love it. Yeah. And another book which is very important for our civil service aspirants to read and to attempt this exam is one book by Spectrum Publications. I think Rajveer Ahir, some person is there. He's an IPS officer. He has written the book Spectrum Publications, Modern Indian History. A very good book, because in the prelims we kind of meet with some many surprising facts and objectives which were given in the spectrum many times, because he completely written the book for UPSC itself, civil service itself. So just go through the book. You have to go through it because no other option is there for us. Bipin Chandra and Spectrum is enough for modern history, I think. And post-independence consolidation and reorganization. If we come to that, I followed Bipin Chandra's India Since Independence. It's a book called India Since Independence, or India After Independence, I think so. Very, very, very good book. One of the best books I've ever read. Because in that book, he covers polity, history, science and technology, economy, everything, including 1990s reforms, etc. Up to Manmohan Singh government he covered, I think so. Very, very, very good book. You have to read it because you will understand what Congress is immediately after the independence, what coalition governments when they were formed. I think in the recent prelims also they asked us the question to put in the chronology, or another question like when were the first time the coalition governments formed in India. That kind of questions they are asking. So that is completely from this book, or you can read any other book, but this is the best book I have ever read. I'm saying that, I'm just suggesting you. It's a matter of your choice whether to go for it or not. And coming to the history of the world, it is very important to go through the world history part, because without reading world history you can't become a civil servant, because you have to know what happened in 1700s, etc., which changed the complete world. For industrial revolution, I did not follow any particular book, and it is a very important topic because questions are being asked from industrial revolution. And to master the concept, I somehow got to know that one lecture is there in YouTube by a lecturer called Sandeep Madhudane, who belongs to PT Science Academy. He posted a lecture, 2.5 hours lecture, I think so, on industrial revolution. It is a very, very, very good lecture. I watched it, and he has complete conceptual clarity, and he explains in a very, very comprehensive manner. Just go through it because he knows what the UPSC pulse is. He says in a complete easy manner that an average LKG or UKG student can understand. Yeah, just go through it. On industrial revolution, that is enough. You can do. Just go through the lecture and go through the previous questions on the industrial revolution which UPSC asked. Yeah. And for topics like French Revolution, American War of Independence, American Civil War, redrawal of boundaries, Italian unification, German unification, I watched lectures given by Pratik Nayak. A person called Pratik Nayak is there on a channel. He teaches on a channel called Mrunal. There is a channel called Mrunal. It is primarily an economics channel, but Mrunal teaches economy. But in that channel, you can find different various subjects, and world history is one of those, taught by a person called Pratik Nayak. He teaches in a very good way. It makes some sense. Of course, he teaches some mistakes, but of course, 90% of it is right. And you can follow his lectures and write the exam. I'm very sure about it. I followed them because you need not do PhD on world history, because it's not our cup of tea, it's not our job, because we have to write an answer which should be like 200 to 250 words. So no need to master it, but just you have to understand what happened, what are the causes, consequences, how it affected the entire world and especially India. These are the questions you have to answer while reading topics of the world history. And for events since 1900, that is the First World War, Second World War, colonization, NAM, decolonization, UN, etc., I strictly recommend you to follow a book called I think I don't remember the book, but I remember the author's name, Norman Loewe. A person called Norman Loewe is there. He has written a book, Mastering the World History, I think so. It is the name of the book. He has written a book on world history. Fantastic book. You'll love the entire book, each and every page. He describes World War and World War I and II in such an intense manner that you will be stepping into the war background when you read the book. So I recommend you to read the book, each and every page. Especially the political science students have to read it, because if you don't understand world history, you can't understand the global politics. So to understand that, you have to master the world history concepts first of all. And questions like UN and NAM are coming directly in our essay papers or political science papers every year. So you have to have a good grip on that. So just I would recommend you to read this book in particular. Political science students and general studies students should also know. And for getting a good hold on ideologies like capitalism, communism, socialism, again, a lecture was posted by Sandeep Madhudane, same person, on his channel called PT Science Academy. He posted a lecture on YouTube. So he described all the ideologies: capitalism, communism, socialism, etc. Just go and watch it. I completely recommend that, because I'm sure that he'll explain it in a better way. I did not watch it though, but I read it somewhere. But he'll present you in a very lucid manner, easy manner. So just go through it. Go through it and note down the points. And for the salient features of Indian society, I did not follow any particular book for Indian society. I followed only daily newspaper and observed the society through my eyes. That's it. Only newspaper is needed for this. I strictly recommend, because you read newspapers like Live Mint, Hindu, Indian Express, various other newspapers, Wire, etc. kind of newspapers you read, and you will understand the society in a better manner. You are looking through the eyes of the scholars when you look at the society. So societal issues like women empowerment, child care issues, etc., poverty, hunger, all these issues, they will be presented in some kind of articles daily. So if you read the articles, you'll master it. No need to go through any book, because if you look at the kind of questions they are asking, 90% of the questions are coming from the current affairs. So if you read the paper strictly or perfectly, that's enough for this for this part. And according to me, no other book is needed, because I follow no other book, because there is very less time available for us. So just we'll cut it short as much as possible. Yeah. And for the role of women, women's organizations, population, poverty, developmental issues, urbanization, I think no other book is needed except the newspaper. If you follow the newspaper intensely, you'll find all these topics presented in the newspaper some way or the other. Yeah, just go through the newspaper perfectly. Editorials, I'll strictly recommend, because editorials, you'll get a lot of information. You can write the answers in the exact way the editorial is given. So you just read the newspaper, you'll get vocabulary, you'll get subject, and you get the way you have to write an essay. Everything is being presented there. Just follow the newspapers intensely. Effects of globalization, again, that is also presented in the newspaper, daily newspaper. I used to read intensely. When I was reading, it was just 25th year of the economic reform. So daily we used to have some article on globalization, etc. And this Trump and all issues. So again, it was on the rage. Everything, every newspaper is writing on what is globalization, what is deglobalization, what is anti-globalization, why. Some kind of rage like Brexit and Trump's election, and every part of the world is electing such kind of leaders who are against globalization. So these kind of issues you come up with when you read the newspaper strictly. I think 60 to 70% of our syllabus is contained in the newspapers, only newspapers. Yeah. Social empowerment, communalism, regionalism, secularism. These topics you have to read from. I read from Bipin Chandra's India's Independence. He gave it in a very attractive manner, because once you read it, you can't resist the temptation, because you will finish the entire chapter. Communalism, secularism, especially the regionalism. What does it mean? Many times I kind of encountered many students who understand it in a wrong manner, and each time a question was asked on regionalism, people go it wrong. People put something else nonsense in the place of what regionalism effectively it is. So I recommend you to strictly read what Bipin Chandra writes, because he presents in a completely a new manner what regionalism is. He knows how to how to look at things in a better manner. Once you read it, you'll understand. And salient features of the world's physical geography. For this, what I have done was, I'm from an engineering background, and I read geography in some 10th class or like that is only for marks purpose. I don't know what geography is till I entered Ashok Nagar in 2016 June. And 2 months after I entered, I started geography preparation. I felt it very tough when initially I started it, but I kind of got to know that some lectures are there on Mrunal's YouTube channel, where a person called Rajnadil Solanki, her name was, she kind of posted a 57 lectures. She is an IRS officer now. Her optional was geography when she wrote. And she posted some 57 lectures on geography, which deals with complete geography, physical, Indian, and complete world geography. And yeah, I watched those 57 lectures, and I was very happy that I understood major parts of geography. And immediately after watching those, I read a book on physical geography written by a person called Savindra Singh. A very, very, very good book. Optional students prefer it mainly, but we should not think that we are limiting ourselves to the general studies syllabus. Just go for it and read on optional syllabus also, no problem at all. You'll answer in the better way geography questions. So Savindra Singh I would recommend, because every point he writes there is logic. Without logic he will not write. Physical geography is just like mathematics. Every point will have some logic. Without logic you can't understand geomorphology, plate tectonics, etc., mid-ocean ridge, etc. Nothing could be understood, tsunamis, earthquakes, etc. So I would recommend you to go and read Savindra Singh. Just look at the book. It is a very, 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 very good book. Even today, if I get any doubt, I'll open the book and read. And complete logical book, not illogical. And distribution of key natural resources across the world industries. I read this from a book called Kuller on Indian geography. Very, very, very good book. I think it's 1100 page book. Just finish it as soon as possible, because every chapter given in the Kuller is very important. It applies to general studies 1 paper and general studies 3 paper, where economics part we have now, general studies 3 paper. There also this book is very important. So make sure that you read this book Kuller Indian geography very intensely, so that you can answer the questions in a better way. And distribution of key natural resources, as I said, Kuller is the one book, and I think Mrunal, that girl, also explained very nicely. So just go through it. Also, there is a website called Mrunal, website, not a channel on YouTube, where he explains the natural resources part very, very, very intensely, and industries also is covered in a very good way. Because recently we have encountered some questions on sugarcane industry, like the cotton industries, in mains questions also, mains papers also. So that is very important topic. You have to go through. You can't leave it. And geophysical phenomena called earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanoes, cyclones, etc. I covered it from Savindra Singh, physical geography, and lectures given by that Rajnandil Solanki on Mrunal, as I've already said. For Indian geography, entirely I followed Kuller. Just make sure that you read the entire book Kuller twice or thrice, because it is a very good book, but it is bulky, 1100 page book. Some nonsense would be there, but you yourself should know that where should we leave, or what to read or what not to read. But it is a very good book. Indian geography completely he covers. It is for optional students, but go for it and read. I'll recommend. Yeah. And coming to GS2 paper, it includes polity, governance, international relations. Here I feel that there is no need to look into the syllabus specifically, because we know what are the standard books. If you complete those standard books, the syllabus gets completed automatically. What I followed was that I advise you to finish the Indian Polity by Lakshmikant as soon as possible. For the new students especially, finish it off as soon as possible. It is a good book. Of course, some mistakes are there, but 90% of the book is very good, very good. And then you just buy a book called PM Bakshi, Indian Constitution. Just keep it with you. Whenever you get doubt on anything, any part of the Constitution, just open the book and read. Directly the Constitution is given, it is printed directly in the book, that each and every word is directly taken from the Constitution. No analysis is given, but it is a very, very, very good book. PM Bakshi. Just make sure that you buy the book and keep it with you. Wherever you go, keep that book with you. So if you get any doubt, you can open the book and see. Then I kind of posted a website which belongs to the Law Ministry on my Facebook page. You just open the website and see that how good it is. You will be surprised to know that it is written by many judges during the times of the Constitutional Review Commission in 2000s. Venkat Chelaya, some eminent people are there, like Jayaprakash Narayan. They all had written those volumes of the books you will see. And what is surprising is that at the end of each chapter they have posted some questions. I don't know why they have done it. So just go through the website, Law Ministry website. I posted it on my Facebook page. Very, very, very important website. I finished it. I finished the website in, I think it took me around 20 days to finish all the books. And you'll understand polity in a very better way if you read the book. Very, very, very simple book. Simple language they use. And for us, the daily newspapers like the Hindu, Indian Express is must, as 100% of the questions are asked from those papers only, newspapers. If you look at the polity GS2 paper, 100% the questions are based on current affairs. So to answer that current affairs, you have to have a very good grip on static syllabus. You have to finish the website I suggested, and also you have to read the daily newspaper, because questions are asked from the newspapers itself. Yeah. And a website I suggest you to go through daily, on a daily basis. You should go through a website called PRS India.org. PRS India.org. There is a website called PRS. You have to go through the book. Very, very, very good website. It gets updated on a daily basis. Any bill, if you don't understand, if suppose you are not understanding AFSPA, Armed Forces Special Powers Act, you just type in the Google, just Google it, AFSPA PRS, you type it. So PRS analysis comes on AFSPA, just read it. If you are not understanding What is special category status? You type special category status PRS. PRS analysis would be there. Very simple analysis, very lucid analysis. If you're not understanding what is Aadhaar bill PRS. If you're not understanding Real Estate Regulation Act, you just type the act and PRS. Okay, any bill or any act, if you're not understanding, just type it in PRS. You type, you'll come across the articles written by the PRS scholars, and very simple one. You have to get there is an article presented on the police reforms also in PRS recently. Just go through it, you'll love it. Entire police reforms in single article, that too presented in a very concise manner and very simple way. And for India and neighborhood and other international relations, I would prefer a website called IPCS, which I followed on a daily basis, because IR is something that you have to be touched with IR on a daily basis. Because see what happens with major students who commit blunders, like today in Hindu paper there will be an article presented on Hindu paper related to IR, and tomorrow there will be no article. If something happens again, article will be presented. So in a week 2 to 3 times I think IR articles will be presented. But we are committing a blunder here. IR we have to be in touch daily, not just when the articles are presented in the Hindu or Indian Express. Because to be in touch with IR daily, you have to have a standard website which deals only with IR. And on part of my research, when I searched a lot of websites, I found IPCS is the most interesting one. Institute of Peace and Conflict Studies, you just type it on the Google, you'll get a website, and series of articles are written by various scholars, very good scholars. They make a lot of sense articles, very logical conclusions they draw, and on a daily basis it gets updated for various regions like South Asia, Asia, Europe, etc. Those columns are there. In that individual columns are the scholars who are there for that columns particularly. They'll write articles and post it on the website. So just go through it and read and make notes. I have to make notes, lot of notes from my IPCS. This helped me score 154 in my paper 2 in my optional paper. It is also important for political science now, because political science PSIR, that is the name of the subject, political science and international relations, we have to be very good in international relations. So this website helps you a lot, I feel. And daily newspapers must for IR also, because without reading daily newspapers you can't score to the fullest extent in IR. And for the comparing constitutions, I followed Lakshmikant's public administration book. There is a book called Lakshmikant, not just on Indian polity, has written a book on public administration too. So just follow that book. You'll find a chapter on comparing constitutions. That is very important topic, I think so, because UPSC did not ask many questions regarding this topic, but they might ask in the future also. So it comes in handy for you, because just read Lakshmikant public administration book. Very good topic, comparing constitutions. Just he compares Indian constitution, French constitution, German constitution, different constitutions, American constitution, etc. For GS3, which includes economics, science and technology, disaster management. And for economics, I followed one and only one channel by Mrunal. I kind of followed it for 3 years. I like the person very much, Mrunal, because he teaches the subjects in a very funny way, very funny way. He uses the live examples, he applies it to the daily our kind of living. The very toughest topic, toughest topics in the economics also made very easy by Mrunal, and he teaches in Hindi. Of course, you'll understand what he's teaching, because there will be slides presented in English also parallelly. So yeah, I request you to just go and watch Mrunal videos. There will be some 85 videos in one sector, and other I think 60 videos. 80 plus 60, 140 videos. If you watch, I think you'll master the economics part for general studies. I'm very sure about it. And I got some 115 in GS3 paper, so I can recommend you to go for Mrunal. For science and technology and disaster management, I read only the daily paper. Yeah, because disaster management is one topic which constantly is in the newspaper for some or the other reason. You just go through any newspaper, you'll find some topic on disaster management. No need to research on it. If you want, you can do some research and some background part you can write, and you can follow the newspaper for the regular updates and daily updates. For science and technology, only newspaper, the Hindu and the Indian Express, Live Mint, Wire, etc. Find science and tech. No need to go to some book and read. I suggest if you are joining in any institute, they'll teach you the basics of the science and technology. Just go and listen to that one class. I recommend you to listen. Science and technology is very important, so just listen to that one class. If you're not joining in the coaching institute also, no problem. YouTube Science and Technology Basics for UPSC, if you type, some lectures will be coming. Just go through those and follow the daily newspapers, it is enough. And yeah, for land reforms, there is a topic on land reforms. Just directly go to a site called Mrunal. Land reforms Mrunal, you type in the Google, not a YouTube channel, just site. You'll get a series of articles on land reforms. Very good articles. You'll enjoy each and every article. You'll master the concept within no time. You know, one day, just 3 to 4 hours you sit on the article, sit on the topic, just go through all the articles. Very, very, very funny way he writes. You know, just note down the points which you feel important. You'll master the topic land reforms, because it's a very, very, very important topic. Some or the other time UPSC is asking the questions on that topic. And for science and technology, already I've said, but for science and technology I have to read Bipin Chandra's India Since Independence also. That is the one book which covers all the parts, science and technology, polity, economy, as I've already said. Basic science and technology, what is the science and technology policy of India from Nehru, how it got developed, Atomic Energy Commission, etc. He deals in a very good way, Bipin Chandra, so just go through that book. For environment, I followed Arihant's Environment Biodiversity book. Small book will be there, green color. I followed it, half of the book, and half of the book I followed Shankar IAS. So these two books are must for environment. And coming to me, I love the subjects intensely, because I love the environment, I love the ecosystem, how the relations between the animals and the forest, etc. So I used to watch intensely the videos of National Geographic and Discovery channels. It became very easy for me, environment part. I think these two books are good enough for environment. But for internal security, again I followed newspaper, daily newspaper. Because basically I love these kind of hard-hitting ideologies like Naxalism, terrorism, Maoism, etc. It became very easy for me to understand them from the core point of view, how development is affecting ourselves, how development is leading to extremism. These kind of ideologies, if you understand, you'll get to know in a better way. And just go through the lectures given on channel called Mrunal by Pratik Nayak on internal security. You'll understand it in a better way. There are some series of lectures, 8 to 9 lectures I think so, by Pratik Nayak on YouTube channel. Just go through it. Internal security will be getting finished, and follow daily newspaper for regular updates. And Bipin Chandra's India Since Independence also helps us, because he deals with the kind of ideologies like Naxalism, what is CPI, what is CPIM, how they got split, and what is the current situation. He deals in a better way. That book called India Since Independence, that is the answer for many questions. That one single book, you just have to read it. And for paper 4, paper 5 GS4, which includes ethics, integrity, aptitude. To start with, actually no book is required per se for this paper. Ethics have to be inherently present within you, because that gets reflected in the paper when you are writing. If you have no ethics, paper will contain no ethics. You can bluff them, but hide it not. So I don't know what to do. Actually, I finished a book called Lexicon. Which contains the basic concepts. The worst book I've ever read, but still you have to read, because you will understand how to write an answer through that, because definitions are being presented neatly there. So just syllabus is being presented very neatly, and just look at the definitions. If you don't like the definition, just forget about it. Just type the word there. You'll get the definition on the internet also. So if you want to read the book, just read the book. I read the book. And some case studies are also presented on Lexicon, but the answers given are not satisfactory for me, at least. I thought that I can do much better than what Lexicon has done. For ethics, note down the terms. Terms are important. Attitude, aptitude, integrity, such kind of terms are important. Search for the meanings on the internet. Lexicon also given the meanings, but if you don't get satisfied with the kind of definitions given by the Lexicon book, just go to the internet directly and search for those definitions. You'll understand. Note down the terms and search for the meanings. Okay, do a lot of case studies. I've done a lot of case studies, because when you do the case studies, what happens is that you are applying the knowledge of the general studies paper 1, GS 1, 2, 3 papers to the case studies which have been given to you at the particular moment. So what is case study is nothing but you will be given a live example of how an administrator acts, how an administrator should act. You being an administrator, how will you be reacted to such kind of situation. That is what is called case study. So I've done a lot of case studies from a website called Insights on India. There is a website called Insights on India, and ethics section is separately there, and that lot of case studies are being given. So I have to do a lot of case studies from there. When I was eating, etc., I used to watch a case study. I used to think in my mind that what could be done in a better way, what could be done in a better way. Okay. On a website called Insights on India, many terms are also listed, 50 to 60 terms which are related to ethics. Just make sure that you mug up all the terms, and when you're writing the answers, those terms should reflect in your answer. That is what I have done when I was writing in my ethics answer. I used to remember all the terms, and I used to connect those terms in my answer. Just if you see the ethics answer I have written, only those terms will appear. Yeah. Your ethics answer should also have a good quotes. Very good quotes are very important. So make sure that you follow some 4 to 5 scholars or the eminent people like Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, and you just quote them wherever possible. And coming back to the current affairs part, I used to follow intensely a website called Insights on India, where some daily questions will be posted in a sector called Secure. It will be there, like it will be showing up like Secure 2018 answer writing. In the answer writing challenges, you go there and write the answers daily. 6 to 7 answers I used to write in my notebook. So for 1 year I have done this, and I mastered the concept of answer writing. Because if you do that on a daily basis, it becomes very easy. Because if you don't do that before the mains, it becomes very tough for you. So just follow the current affairs Insights on India site. You just write the answers daily, and you read the newspapers like Hindu, Indian Express, Live Mint, etc. And make sure that you prepare your own current affairs. Don't go I will not prefer for some PT 365 etc. because you just prepare your own current affairs on a daily basis, so that before the exam you can revise those current affairs only. And for the current affairs I have suggested, and for answer writing I have suggested, and the syllabus I have described, and these are the sources of which I followed. I'm not forcing you to follow only these sources, but what I have done I am saying it. I think it would be helpful for some at least some students. And thank you.